Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our part 6 of the series on Esther. To quickly recap, what we talked about last time was how Esther overcame her natural inclination to make a very brave choice to save the Jewish people and step into this role. And now we're going to go for part 6, our very last part. This is actually my favorite one because what we're going to focus on are a few psukim from Tehillim, chapter 22, Perek Chaf Beis. And these psukim actually show us Esther's feelings and exactly where she was at when she was going into the king's chamber uninvited. So Pasuk Aleph, Lamnatzeach al Ayeles HaShachar Mizmor LeDavid. To the chief musician upon Ayeles HaShachar, which was a certain instrument used in the Beis HaMikdash, Psalm of David. This refers to a star that comes out right before the morning, which is the darkest point in the night, to show that the darkest times come before salvation. So that sort of alludes to what she was going through. The moment at which she was entering the king's chamber, the inner chamber, was a time of tremendous darkness for the Jewish people, for Mordechai, for her, but it was actually also a time right before salvation. Pasuk Beis, Keli Keli Lama Azavtani, Rachok meishuasi divrei shagasi. My Hashem, why have you forsaken me, so far from my deliverance, from the words of my cry? This was when Hashem's presence, so to speak, left her. Esther was actually a prophet who usually had a nevuah, a prophecy, and when she passed by the Avodah Zarah, all the idol worship that was in the palace, suddenly she lost Hashem's presence, so to speak. So she called out to him, Keli, Keli, lama zaftani. She really felt very alone during this time. Pasuk Gimel, Elokai ekra yomam velo ta'aneh, velayla velo dumiyali. My God, I call out by day, but you do not answer, and at night, and there is no relief for me. This is how she felt, afraid, alone, uncertain, not sure what was going to happen. Pasuk Daled, and you, Hashem, are enthroned upon the praises of Yisrael. And that sort of ends that part on Tehillim. And to explain that further, Esther was going through a time of darkness. It's very, very safe to say that. She lost her prophecy at this time. She felt alone and afraid. And yet she recognized Hashem and that this is his will. And then she moved forward with the plan. Physically, too, Esther is going to the king on the third day of fasting. Something to think about. What she must have looked like and felt like. She is truly risking her life by going to him in this state. But she understood that the natural way of things is not a factor when you're trying to bring upon salvation. Esther was completely convinced that the situation, even though it was so severe and scary, was clearly sent by Hashem and demanded some kind of a miraculous turnabout. Esther purposely doesn't wait for the king to call on her on his own and for nature to just play itself out, because she knew that Hashem placed her exactly where she needed to be when she needed to be there. First of all, I think that kind of seeing these psukim from Tehillim and really starts to show us again that human aspect of Esther and what she was going through in making this difficult choice, but also seeing the tremendous strength that it shows that she took to be able to accomplish that. So a lot of times we have difficult things that we're going through and we don't think we can handle it, and we're scared and we're uncertain of the future. But I think Esther also shows us that we have a tremendous inner strength that Hashem gives to us and that we really can handle more than we think. So a couple of last points and then we're going to wrap everything up. Another idea to me, which is very important, is also that it's okay to be afraid, even when you're doing the right thing, excuse me. It's a strong emotion that tries to stop us from moving forward when we're scared. So it's really important to try to channel that fear and ask Hashem for help, like Esther did. And I think that this also really ties into the times that we live in. And I'm not going to focus on it too much, but I think as soon as we get things that are very basic to us sort of taken away and we start to see life differently and gain a different perspective, it's really hard to move forward. It's hard to figure out how to function and live and what to do and not to do. And that can be a very, very difficult thing to think about. But then let's go back and also talk about how we have to do the best that we can. We have to get up every single day and figure out what our goals are for the day and go about accomplishing them with what Hashem gives us, because it's exactly where we're supposed to be, and it's exactly what we're supposed to be experiencing. And also thinking back to the idea of stepping back, always recognizing that at the end of the day, Hashem is running the world. I'm going to do everything I possibly can, but I also need to make space for that in my heart and my mind so that I can continue to move forward. Something that I think we see from Esther is that she really went through a difficult time, still made the right choices, but also leaned on Hashem as her rock. And that's something that we should also really, really try to do. And I think that she shows that we can be silent, we can be brave, we can have this hiddenness and this inner beauty all at the same time as being afraid and uncertain and not knowing what's going to play out in our future. And I think it's important to try and be present in whatever situation we're going through, but hold on to Hashem. Think about our character traits. Think about what are your strengths that you're going to capitalize on, and what are the things that you need to find strength within to overcome in order to move forward. I also really encourage you to look more into this parak from Tehillim, number 22, Chaf Beis, because it's very empowering, it's very beautiful, it has a lot of great insights, and it's a special parak that you can actually recite on the day of Purim itself, and it can help you sort of give you a context for reaching out to Hashem and leaning on Him as your rock. Talk to Him about what you're going through and what you need help with, and sort of think about, that the pieces that we can take from Esther to be able to channel all those incredible things that she accomplished. And with that, I hope that I gave you at least one thing that you can think about. And I want you to remember that you are incredible Jewish women who are so amazing and accomplish so much every single day. And Purim is a really special time to think about that and to try to figure out how we can do even more, but also to take time to celebrate the great things in our lives and everything that Hashem gives to us, and also really, really remember that Hashem gives us strength. He gives us strength to do the things that we need to do, not just every single day, but throughout the year and in our futures. I hope you enjoyed this series on Esther, and I hope you have a beautiful, happy Purim. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.